Hey everybody, this is Mr. Beckstrom, and today we're going to take a look at sample problems for the SLO quiz. Remember, this quiz is mandatory. Alright, so the first one says, this is a sample problem. It's going to be similar to what you're going to see on the quiz. It says Greg gets paid $3,503 for 452 hours of work. What amount should he get paid for 500 hours of work? So there's really a couple of ways to solve this. I'm going to choose to use proportions for this. So I'm going to say we're going to set up some proportion here. That's setting two ratios equal to each other. And remember, we want to keep the similar units on the same ratio. So 3,503 is related. So since I put this on the top, I'm going to put the 452 hours here on the top. And then on the bottom, we don't know how much he got paid, but we do know that he worked 500 hours. So we're going to put 500 here, and this is going to be our variable. So this is the proportion that we're going to solve. So both of these are hours, so they go on the same ratio, and both of these are going to be money, so they go on the same ratio. And since this is a direct proportion, the top values have to be corresponding to each other. So the 452 hours has to correspond to the $3,503, and the 500 hours has to correspond to our unknown variable. Once we do that, all we need to do is cross multiply and divide. So we're going to get 452 times x is equal to, and using the calculator, we have 500 times 3503, 500 times 3503. Make sure that's right. Yep. And I'm going to get a really big number here, and I'm going to write that in a second. So I'm going to get 1,751,500 on this side, and then I have to divide both sides by 452 to get the answer. So I'm just going to go ahead and divide this by the 452 now, and I get an answer of 3875. So let me plug this in here. So this is 1,751,500. And then we're going to divide both sides by the 452 to get x by itself. 452. And we're going to get x is equal to 3875. And let's go see if that amount makes sense. So for 452 hours, we get 3503. And for 500 hours, which is a little bit more than 452, we get a little bit more than the 3503, the 3875. And there you have it. Now the other way to do it is we can find his hourly rate to start off with. So we could just take the 3503 divided by 452, divided by 452, and see that his hourly rate is $7.75 per hour. And then we can just multiply that by the 500. And we get the same answer as before. So either way works. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. All right, so for this next problem, a store charges 8.5 or 8.5% sales tax. If you buy a product for $100.50, how much will your total bill cost? All right, so once again, there's a few different ways to do that. We can use proportions to find the sales tax, and that's in our book. But what we can also do is just first find what's 8.5% of $100.50. And remember that word of tells us to multiply here. So I'm going to put that 8.5% in decimal form. So 0.085. Just move the decimal place 2 to the left. And we're going to multiply that by the $100.50 to see how much tax we're going to be charged on this purchase here. So pulling up the calculator, that was 0.085 times 100.5. Oops, didn't get that 0.085 in there. Times 100.5. That's going to give us an amount of $8.54 when we round. So this is $8.54 after rounding. So this is our tax. Now they want to know the total bill, so the total bill is just going to be the amount plus the tax. So that is going to be, let me see, let's use our calculator so I don't mess that up. That plus the 100.5, and that's going to be $109.04. So the total answer is 109.04. Double check that. Yep. And we can also do this in a single step here. We can, if we wanted to, multiply that 100.5 times 1 plus our interest rate there, so that'd be 1.085, and the reason being is the 1 calculates the amount of the purchase, and then the 0.085 represents the tax, and when you multiply together you get the same answer there. So you can also do it in one step if you like. Alright, let's take a look at the next problem. Alright, so for this one it says, given a rectangular prism with a length equal to 5 meters, a width equal to 10 meters, and a height equal to 12 meters, how many square meters of wood are needed to build it? All 6 surfaces are needed, and they want us to round the answer to the nearest 10th. So with something like this, the first thing I try to do is just draw it to get an idea of what we're talking about. So here I'm going to draw a little base there, and I'll do the same thing up here. So and then we'll just kind of connect the lines there. And I get something that looks like this. This is not to scale, but do our best. So we have a length, we call this the length here, of 5, a width of 10, and a height of 12. Now, it doesn't really matter if you pick this one for the width or the height. You just make sure that you have each one of them labeled, and that they're all the 3 different sizes, like this side here and the back side and this side and this side. So we have 5 lengths that are equal to 5, and then we'll have, 4 lengths that are equal to 5, and we'll have 4 lengths that are equal to 10, and 4 lengths that are equal to 12. All right. So what are they asking us to do? They're asking us to find the total surface area, and they want us to round it to the nearest 10th. So in order to find the surface area, so surface area of a rectangular prism, we're going to have, so it's the top and the bottom of this prism, right? So that's going to be 2 times, and the area of one of them is length times width, plus the 2 sides here. So this is going to be width times height. So plus, since there's 2 of them, 2 width times height, plus, and then the front and the back is going to be, looks like length times height. So plus 2 length times height. So here's the formula that we have, and then we're really just plugging it in, and I can do that in my calculator. So this is going to be 2 times 5 times 10, 5 times 10, plus 2 times 10 times 12, 10 times 12, plus 2 times, and that would be 5 times 12, the last pair. So 5 times 12. And we get 460. So that is 460, the number of square meters that we need in order to build this rectangular prism, aka box. All right, let's take a look at the last example here. All right, for this last example here, it says a bag used to apply icing to a cake is in the shape of a cone with a radius equal to 4 inches and a height equal to 10 inches. How much icing will this bag hold when full? So once again, I'm going to try my best to draw a cone here. All right, not too bad, not too bad. And it gives us, so if you go to the center of the circle on the top and you go to the the side here, this is our radius, right? From the center of the circle to the side. So the radius is equal to 4 inches. And the height of this, so the height of this is equal to 10. And they want to know how much icing we can put in the bag when full. So that's a three-dimensional space they're asking about. So that's going to be a volume. Whenever they're asking about a three-dimensional space like this, we're talking about volume. So we need the volume formula for a cone, which the volume is equal to pi r squared times h over 3. You may also see this without the 3 here and under the entire problem there. So either way, you're going to get the same answer here. But this is going to be equal to pi times the radius squared, which is 4 squared, times the height, which is 10, divided by 3. And now let's use our calculator here. So I'm going to get pi, which is this key right here, times 4 squared, times, and since I'm multiplying by a fraction, I'm going to put that fraction in parentheses to make sure it does the correct order of operations. So open parentheses, 10 divided by 3. And we get about 167. Tell us when to, no, so we'll just round to the nearest square inch, or excuse me, cubic inch. So we'll call this 168 cubic inches. So this is equal to 168 cubic inches, and I really shouldn't put a equal sign. We should use the approximation symbol since we're rounding. So it's approximately equal to 168 cubic inches. All right, guys, good luck on the quiz. Let me know if you have any questions, and let's get ready to finish up this semester. Thanks, everybody.